Today is the day that we talk about tight ends. Also, got a Conor Williams update. Let's jump into this mamma jam. What is up, fans? How is everyone doing on this Tuesday? I'm still building that deck. If anyone's like, what are you talking about, Doug? I'm a new subscriber. First off, I love you. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Second off, I've been working on this deck forever, and I'm almost done. My whole body hurts. But anyway, we're talking tight ends today, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on Conor Williams because Rosenhaus came out and was like, kind of pooped on all our dreams. But before we jump into that, I do have to shout out new patron and new members. On the membership side, we have William, I don't want to butcher your name, I'm Arbritton, Shelby Jordan, November Ray, Victor Devonzo, and Taylor Edwards. Thank you guys so much for hitting that join button next to the subscribe button. You will see your perks first off in the community tab. You get special things that no one else can see. And secondly, when I go live, and I will be going live. A lot of you guys are like, hey, why don't you go live anymore? I will be going live. Don't you worry, pretty little head. I promise I will be going live. I think I'll do like a training camp preview live stream and then answer a bunch of questions and have fun. So there's that. And on the Patreon side, we have Fins Miami. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. Patreon is linked in the description. You get perks as well over on the Patreon. One of the major perks is there is a Patreon exclusive video series I got going on over there. Recently, I put one up talking about Tua Tagovailoa and all the stuff I'm hearing behind the scenes with his contract. So if you are a Patreon and you haven't gone over and checked that out yet, go over, check it out. And if you're not a Patreon and you'd like to join, click the link in the description and then pick one of the tiers. There is an option for free membership. I don't know why. And if you are a free member and you're like, hey, I don't see any of the videos, I don't know why there's an option for free membership, but that's why. But you guys will get special perks over there as well and special videos, and I have series, and I'm going to show you guys how to edit all crazy things. And some of you guys might say, hey, which one do you prefer? Just watch, subscribe, and hit that thumbs up and comment. That's what I prefer. But if you want to go above and beyond, I love you for it. And those are two ways you can do it. Thank you. So we're going to jump into the video. I almost said Sage Rosenfeld. Drew Rosenhaus came out talking about Conor Williams, and he said it's not likely that he's going to go back to the Dolphins because he wants to play center, and the Dolphins have Aaron Brewer. Obviously, if you took Aaron Brewer and you took Conor Williams, fully healthy, because they're both kind of not fully healthy, but fully healthy, Conor Williams is better. But Conor Williams is coming off of a really bad knee injury. Aaron Brewer is banged up, but I think he'll be good for training camp. That's why. He doesn't want to play guard. And he would probably be playing right guard because we have Isaiah Wynn at left guard. Go back and watch how he dominated at left guard when he was healthy and on the team. So it doesn't seem likely that Conor Williams is coming back. I know I made a video about it because he came out and he said he was healthy, but we all can just ignore that because it doesn't seem likely he'll come back. But hey, you never know. They might say, hey, Aaron, do you mind playing guard? You're not getting paid much when you play guard. So, but it doesn't seem likely. So let's jump into the tight end position battle. That's French for battle. Now, I would say, there's two spots locked up in the tight end room, and there's 4 spots that are open for the position battle. So we're going to jump into this. We're going to talk first and foremost about Janu Smith, a guy we signed this year, a guy that I have a preconceived notion of how Mike McDaniel is going to use him. Because think Kittle. Think how Kittle was used in the 49ers offense. That's how I can kind of see Janu being used for the Dolphins. He was 3rd among tight ends last year in yak yards. His yak average, which is yards after contact, was 7.1 yards after contact average. Jalen Waddles was 5.8. Tyreek Hill's was 5.5. So that just shows you this big man can move. He ran a 4.62. So again, he's a big man. I think he's 6'3", 2 something, or 6'4", 2 something. He is a big man. Now, with his time with Atlanta last year, he was in the slot, he was out wide, and he took 29 snaps at halfback. And I'm very interested in that. I talked about this on Twitter. But I would be, you know how we're all like clamoring, like, oh man, we want a Derrick Henry, or, go out and get so-and-so. We want that big back. We want that goal line back. We do have these running backs that are fast and shifty. We do have Jeff Wilson and we do have Brooks, but it seems like Brooks might be an uphill battle because why isn't he getting the touches last year when our guys were banged up? And then Jeff Wilson might be, the odd man out when it comes to making the roster. But outside of that, we don't have really many big bullish backs for goal line, for third and shorts, fourth and shorts, all of these types of runs. And then it clicked. Janu Smith. The man, obviously they'll probably use him in end arounds, but I wouldn't be shocked because I think 200 and something snaps. Tyreek Hill was lined up at halfback. Wouldn't be shocked if you see in certain situations, and not necessarily to run the ball, but in certain short situations or goal line situations, you see Janu Smith either at fullback or at halfback, and they might give him the ball because, again, he is third amongst tight ends in yards after contact. He knows how to get through those runs. So that's another wrinkle that I could see. But again, he did play in the slot. He was out wide. And I talked about this when we got Mike McDaniel. We're kind of looking at the offense with the 49ers and how they use Kittle and use Kittle as a distraction. So they put him out wide and the defense would kind of shift towards him and focus on him and then go the opposite way. Watch them do that with Janu. That's what I'm saying. Then we have Durham Smythe here, who was third on the team in receiving yards, 366. Hill with over 1,700, and you had Jalen Waddle with over 1,000. He was also third in receptions. I think Tyreek Hill was 170. Behind him was Waddle with like 105, and then he was around like 30 something. But his success rate, essentially like catching and all that stuff, was 72.1, and his clutch percentage was 81.4. And you saw him being used a lot in those seam routes and stuff like that, and they would sometimes kind of look away from that, which kind of bothered a lot of us. But Durham Smythe, good blocker. His thing coming out of college was he's a good blocker and I get pass catcher. Now all of a sudden he's decent. Kind of reminds me of Anthony Fasano, one of my favorites. And I think the combination with him and Janu is going to be real good and really fun to watch. Then you have the guys who are competing to be that third guy, competing to be on the roster. And you have Julian Hill. I have Julian Hill third on my list because he got a lot of looks last year. And unfortunately for him, there was a lot of times where we would run a certain play or we would do something and he would get a holding call and it would bring us back. It was like most of them were like drive killers because it would be like 2nd and 8 and Raheem Mostert would get 13 yards and then all of a sudden, boop, holding. Now it's 2nd and 13 and your whole playbook and your whole thought process is just completely out the window. But he got a lot of looks. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he was the number 3. Then we have a guy we picked up in free agency. He has Super Bowl rings, and he was on the Chiefs, and that is Jody Forson Jr. Now, I have this video here of him at, I think this is OTAs, and this is the undrafted quarterback throwing to him, but like, he could be real dangerous. He could be real dangerous. He played wide receiver in college. He does have the speed. I think he could definitely fit in this scheme, and I wouldn't be surprised if he made the roster. I'm hearing, again, like I just showed you, I'm hearing good things about him coming out of OTA and mini camps, but that all could change. We heard a lot of good things about a lot of people in OTAs and mini camp and training camp. And then when the lights come on and they hit that field, they disappear. Sam McGuavin is one of them, who was a guy that I liked a lot. I learned how to say his name properly. And, we heard preseason, oh, my Sam McGuavin, look at him all over the field and all that stuff. And then regular season came and he disappeared. Then we have Tanner Conor, another name that I'm hearing a lot. A lot of you guys like Tanner Conor, especially when I'm talking about the tight end group. He's a guy that I think he was on the roster. I think he was our 4th tight end. I don't see anything special about him. Not saying he can't be something special or that he can't do something, but it's like him and then Hayden or Rucci, the undrafted free agent we picked up. Those two guys might be the guys that are competing to make the roster. I would be, if I had to pick 4, it would be Janu Smith, Durham Smythe, Julian Hill, and Jody Forson are your 4 tight ends going into the season on the 53, and then Tanner Conor and Hayden Rucci. Maybe even just Tanner Conor going to the practice squad. But I am very excited about this tight end group. I think the addition of Janu Smith and what he can bring to this team and his yak ability and all that stuff added in just adds another dimension to this offense. And I talked about this with you guys before, how Olsen, I think we were playing the Cowboys, was talking about how he sat down with Mike McDaniel and he said that 3rd year in that offense, they really start focusing on tight end usage. So obviously you saw that bringing in Janu Smith. We all wanted different tight ends. We all wanted to draft certain tight ends. And, obviously the one that we all wanted went to the Raiders, and, Bauer wasn't ever going to make it down to where we were at 22. But the addition of Janu and then even the addition of Jody Forson, don't be surprised if he actually, really does help this team. So going into the season and even going into training camp, I'm like looking at the tight end group and I'm like, coming into the off season, I was like, we need to address tight end. Like, I don't hate Durham Smythe. Like I said, I think he's really good for what we have him for, but we need a threat at tight end. I think they got that, Janu Smith. But comment below. Let me know what you guys think. What's your thoughts on the tight end group? What's your thoughts on, Janu Smith possibly taking snaps at middle linebacker? Imagine got that giant man at middle linebacker picking people off at halfback in certain situations. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. But like usual, stay classy. My friends out.